It's not my first symposium anymore. And every time, there's many moments leading up to where I wonder to myself what it's like for families in this community to uproot their lives for a long weekend, to leave work, to leave school, to leave the routines that hold a family together, and travel to Las Vegas. And this year, over 1,100 people did just that, including myself, for community, for education, and for each other. This is Boundless B, the podcast standing with you from a family like yours, presented by the Coalition for Hemophilia B and in partnership with Balancing Life's Issues. I'm Kai Sorensen, and over the next 3 episodes, you'll hear stories from the attendees of Symposium 2026 in Las Vegas, Nevada. New families, seasoned veterans, volunteers, women who have now been seen, and of course, all the kids running around the convention room halls. This is part 1 of Voices of Symposium 2026. Is this registration?
Yes.
All right.
Hi, Kai.
Hi, Vera. How are you? Walking into registration doesn't feel like checking in anymore. It feels like coming home. The faces get more familiar every year I come back. And this year, one of the first I was able to connect with was Farah, the community relations manager. Farah is one of many, making sure lights turn on, the shirts arrive in the right color. Everyone agreed, great color this year. And making 1,100 people have somewhere to sleep, eat, and commune. But when I ask her what she hopes to get out of this weekend, it's not logistics, it's connection, celebrating in community. So what do you personally hope to get out of this weekend, given all this work you've done?
I hope that everybody has a great time and they connect to each other. And I'm excited to see everybody.
Celebrating community.
Yes, celebrating community.
The registration booth is also where I need to find out when and where I'm providing music for the kiddos later that day. That's right. This year, I'm tapping into my many years of music education and providing music games and songwriting, but that's for later in the series. But that's when I bump into yet another familiar face, one that wasn't here last year. Wayne Cook has been the president of the Coalition for Hemophilia B for over a decade, having been diagnosed with hemophilia B at age 6. Last year, Wayne wasn't here. He was in Cleveland, recovering from a liver transplant and open heart bypass, watching from a distance while this community gathered without him for the first time in years. I talked to Wayne before all this happened, and seeing him in person this time, the journey he'd been on, the resilience it took just to be standing in that hallway again, it put something into focus for me. Education, community, family, those aren't just words the Coalition puts on a brochure. They're the foundation that lets you live a long, thriving life, even when your body has other plans.
I couldn't make last year's symposium due to a major surgery. I had an open heart bypass and a liver transplant last year, and so I was in the process of living in Cleveland for 3 months during rehab and recovery, and then then we finally went back home in April, and so unfortunately I couldn't make really anything because I couldn't travel due to the I had to be very careful with my immune system and everything, and so I kind of pretty much took the entire year off last year, and looking forward to it. This is my only my second event in this year. I did go to our men's retreat this year. It was the first time in a while since I had been to a retreat, and it was really great. And I'm looking forward to this weekend here at the symposium. It's going to be a great time. We've got a lot of great attendees and the vendors and everything and our sponsors. I'm really looking forward to the event.
So I guess from your vantage point and the years of the Coalition has been here and all the help and all the volunteers and all the families the stories, what is that message of hope this year for the families who are here celebrating community? It's
kind of like a reunion for me. This has always been family to me, this community, and being away for over a year, it's a renewal of getting back to my family again and being a part of this community, and it's just the hope and everything, and the camaraderie and the friendships that develop between the new families that come in, families that have been here for years. it's an opportunity for them to all get back together again, and on top of that, get some great education on the new products and new treatments, and an opportunity for such a great chance of people that have similar issues get together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kai.
It's good to meet you in person.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, man.
After speaking with Wayne, I'm reminded of not only the physical challenges that those in this community face, but also the financial and emotional. All of it is a challenge, and that can take a serious toll on your mental health, which is why the Coalition has always highlighted the importance of your mental health. That can come in the form of a weekly webinar on compassion fatigue, breakout sessions for caregivers, and at Symposium this year, that showed up as wellness stations throughout the convention halls. Tables with stress balls, stickers that remind you that you got this, but it's also where the Coalition's commitment to its Spanish-speaking families showed up most clearly, with translators standing by to help families when English is not your primary language. What is your connection to Hemophilia B?
Yes, my son have Hemophilia B severe, so I working with they like volunteer for like 7 years. I don't remember, but I love this group because Coalition B is really worried for everybody.
Yeah.
Like family. Yeah.
So we're at a wellness station, so tell me about this wellness station. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is for mental health.
Yeah, so we have like coloring books, we have stress balls, we got some Play-Doh.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Stickers, great. Got to remember to breathe.
Yeah.
We'll take that one. I need to breathe. This is going to be a long day. We're going to need to breathe.
Yeah.
And how about you? What's your connection to Hemophilia B?
Mi nombre es Talia Santiago. Spanish is okay?
Sure, and I can have it translated after.
Okay.
Fantastic. I love it. Go ahead.
Tengo 5 niños.
My name is Talia Santiago. I have 5 children with severe hemophilia B. The Coalition for Hemophilia B changed my life. It changed my children's lives for the better. Santiago, my oldest son, has been through multiple bleeds, and when I found the Coalition, everything changed. The treatment changed, the mindset changed, and now I enjoy the conferences. I enjoy hearing about every treatment that's out there, and I put it into practice at home with my kids. The relationships between people are something that's helped me. Being here with everyone, feeling understood, and above all, having someone who listens and says, "This is what I did, and it worked for me," that helped a lot.
Thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
it. All right, I'm going to grab a stress ball, and I think my toddler's going to love this. Access isn't just about getting into the room. It's about understanding what's happening once you're in it. That's true whether English is your first language or your second. And down the hall, a different kind of mental health care was happening. Sound baths might look like just lying on a mat while someone rings a bowl, but there's real research behind why it works. A study out of UC San Diego followed 62 adults through a single Tibetan singing bowl meditation session and found significant drops in tension, anger, fatigue, and depressed mood afterward. And people brand new to the practice actually felt the tension relief more than the experienced meditators did. The working theory is that these low, sustained tones help pull your nervous system out of fight or flight and into something what's called rest and digest. Slower heart rate, relaxed muscles, brainwaves easing from an alert state into something calmer. For a community that spends so much energy managing a condition, this is worth having in the toolkit and something that the Coalition provides via the B-Hub app. There's something special when age-old wisdom is backed by science, and we're starting to see that everywhere. In sound baths, meditation, yoga and movement, breath work, and of course, Tai Chi. Which, speaking of, I want you to meet someone who's been around the block with the Coalition and is also from Nebraska, like myself, Rick Starks.
Well, I started martial arts when I was 18, and through a long career and a series of injuries, I just became in a transition to Tai Chi. It was gently on my joints. It was more mentally stimulating.
Yeah, the mental health benefits of Tai Chi, in addition
absolutely.
to what would be a rigorous sport versus Tai Chi.
Right. Tai Chi, the reason it is practiced slow is because the monks that started it said you cannot do anything well fast unless you can do it absolutely perfect slow. And that's a way to go through life, too. You practice, you focus on what you're doing, focusing on your balance, on your weight, transitions. And then the same thing with life, with anything. You practice it in little parts, and then you go for it full force.
Yeah, amazing. I know you're giving a presentation this weekend. What's maybe your 30-second version of what you'll be talking about, if possible?
How to live your life to the fullest and stay bleed free.
Fantastic. Also, go Big Red. We're from Nebraska.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
How about that basketball round? And as I continued wandering around the halls looking for my next story, you can't help but notice those who may be sitting alone, maybe looking a little nervous, a little unsure if they belong. These types of events are not easy for a lot of people, myself included. Maybe you carry some social anxiety. But I want to reassure you, this isn't a work networking event. This is a community. But that still doesn't mean walking up to a stranger is easy, and most of the time that first conversation takes real courage. That's how I met Jose.
Oh, I have a 5-year-old, Alexander Robles. He has Hemophilia B with an inhibitor.
Okay. And how did you guys come across that diagnosis?
Since he started walking on the walker,
Yeah.
you know, when they start, they run and they hop. So the frame of the walker was hitting them on the rib cage.
Oh, okay.
And that's when I started seeing like bruising. I'm like, this is not normal.
Right. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
As someone with a
This is
toddler.
not normal.
Yeah, sure.
And then we stopped putting them on the walker for a couple of days. And then I was like, this is not going away.
Yeah, bruising.
This is not normal.
Uh-huh.
So we took him to the hospital and they diagnosed him with Hemophilia B
Oh, okay.
with inhibitors.
Wow.
We didn't know he had an inhibitor until later because he used the medicine. That would get him sick right away. Right away, like within 2 minutes, his oxygen level will drop.
So
drastically.
there were ups and downs even with the initial diagnosis. How'd you get connected with Coalition? Are you a trumpet player? And that's when Jose's son Robert sat down. Yet another face I recognized since joining this community, and a reminder that the sense of relief I felt was one of recognition. Robert and I met at the Beats program in the summer of 2025, and he's also a trumpet player. We talked shop for a little bit, and the conversation turned to advocacy. Robert is 16 and is quietly one of the most impressive advocates I met all weekend. He's already traveled to Sacramento to lobby state legislators for bleeding disorder patients, and his advice for anyone nervous about advocacy, start local. Start at Symposium. You don't have to walk into the Capitol on day one.
In my mind, advocating means like sticking out for someone in your old comfort zone. Like recently, I went to Sacramento for a hemophilia program for advocating for 2 code laws for people with bleeding disorders when it comes to like either like treatment, like getting like prior authorized. So basically, I talked to legislators from Sacramento, from California, the state capital, and you know, the whole point of it is just like sticking out like, at your comfort zone and explaining like what the real issues is to you know hemophilia like in California basically in that state.
Yeah. That's so cool to hear because I know advocacy for so many people can be scary. And you went straight to those who can make those kinds of decisions. So that's really cool. But for someone out there who is maybe is a little more nervous than you about making those steps, I mean, maybe how did advocacy start for you? Like, did it start by going straight to the legislators, or maybe it was a letter, or maybe it was sticking up for your brother in some way?
Maybe in terms, it could be local, like as like right now, this is pretty local. Like you're talking to people who are not like you know like higher role than you because basically everyone's the same here and for Symposium basically. So as like the first step, if you go to any type of hemophilia programs to advocate, you could go to Symposium and you could start local like right here. You know, I think networking here is probably like the best way here to network with anyone basically. Yeah. And you know, find your socials, and basically everyone's a resource here for hemophilia basically. So, so I like that, having that feeling as well too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what that's community. Just moments after sitting down with Jose, I just felt the tension in his body language release. He was talking, he was connecting, he was sharing his story, he was advocating for his son. And that's what Symposium is all about. It's not just education from leading doctors in the bleeding disorders community. It's about connecting to one another. And many of the breakout sessions this year are designed to do just that. The one I happened upon was called Building a Garden Eden, led by Lee Kim, a workshop using the metaphor of a shared garden to talk about the relationships that matter most.
Without bridge, how do you travel? Yeah. So of all the things you could have built, you actually built bridges first. And I thought that was just like interesting how that unfolded and how important it is for us to think about it. But also, I love Sally's Rebel Ducks.
Wandering around this session, community members were put into teams and were tasked with building gardens using crafting supplies. Each team worked individually, and of course their gardens did not look alike, but Lee pointed out to me that they all included bridges to one another. Nobody told them to. That's just what it takes to join two things that started apart.
We had two teams, and each one of them built different ones. One of this one, actually, they started with a collective garden together. So their thing is more cohesive, the story that they have shared. The other one, we built as a team first, and then they put together. One thing that I thought was interesting was this team, because they built it different ones first, and then they put it together, they actually added element of a bridge. So, and without us telling them, it's like, for us and them, how these two gardens connect. Mm-hmm. And for each one of them, they actually built bridges. And I thought that was a really interesting element for that one. This one, it was interesting because they thought very carefully about how the garden is constructed, and they had an entryway. So when you have a relationship, whether it's by choice or by birth, there is where the relationship begins. But then in order for you to go to the garden, you have to make a commitment, whether you want to actually go through the relationship. So I think there were different elements that came out. But if you have another team, probably will give you different kind of insights from the relationship.
Yeah, the metaphors are profound.
Yeah.
Is the door open for this relationship?
Right.
Are there bridges? Because the whole idea of this weekend is community and bringing all these people together to feel seen and to learn, and it's just really cool that happened.
And I think that's what I think Tony said, that we built it as a community. This is not just one. It's actually representing community from the pond to the tree to, butterfly to flowers. One cannot exist without others. So I think people who are here may be already experiencing the beautiful relationship that's unfolding from the, just being here. So I think those are also represented in what they created in the garden.
Absolutely. Hemophilia B doesn't exist in a vacuum, and neither does the Coalition. It's part of a larger effort in the bleeding disorders community, and some of those groups are represented here as well. That's how I ran into Debbie De La Riva.
That's my son with hemophilia, but we are just one big family here. Coalition B they've been so supportive, really enthusiastic, and so I just want to be here to spread more awareness about it.
Absolutely. You have a message of hope this year as we kind of look at how this year's been since our last symposium?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just think that the wind is behind our backs in terms of our overall community, because now we have access to all of this amazing treatment that's the best it's the best of the best.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, sponsor one too.
Good to see you, and I'm sure I'll see you. And as we wrap up part 1 of Voices of Symposium 2026, I want to leave you with the sounds of families coming together again after a long year, but this time with a brand new community member in tow. Next time on Voices of Symposium 2026, what it means to finally be seen as a woman, as a mother, as someone who spent decades being told she couldn't possibly have this disease, and the kids growing up in a different world than their parents did, where a scraped knee doesn't have to mean fear. That's part 2. For now, this has been Boundless B. That's part 2. This has been Boundless B. This has been Boundless B, the Hemophilia B podcast, the podcast standing with you from a family like yours, presented by the Coalition for Hemophilia B and in partnership with Balancing Life's Issues. Don't forget, you can stay connected to your community at hemob.org, and you can find Boundless B wherever you get podcasts. Until next time, everyone, take care. Thank you for listening to Boundless B, the Hemophilia B podcast, the podcast standing with you from a family like yours, presented by the Coalition for Hemophilia B and in partnership with Balancing Life's Issues. Produced by me, Kai. Got an idea for the show? Send us an email at podcast@hemob.org, and don't forget to stay connected to your community at hemob.org. Anything else to add, Miles?
Yeah.